Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. All right, so we're gonna do a video on an issue that are common in vehicles with higher mileage. If you guys have vehicles over 100,000 miles, sometimes it's just a malfunction of the component. But obviously with vehicles of higher mileage, you're gonna have things wear out. And this issue actually, the diagnosis of this issue could be somewhat extensive because it could be a couple of things right off the bat that you would think might be causing this issue. So basically, the first thing you're going to realize with this issue is you're going to realize that the temperature gauge is going to be on the high end, and it's going to keep on moving up if you don't actually park your car and let it cool down. And this issue happens to be the cooling fan. Now, cooling fan not working. Now, here's the thing. If you guys get the temperature gauge going all the way across the 3/4 mark, or if it's higher than normal, you definitely want to park your car and let it cool down. I've seen so many of these situations where if you just keep on driving it thinking you're going to get to the next destination or whatever, there's a good chance that your engine is not just only going to overheat, but it's going to catch fire. If it catches fire, you're going to have a bigger issue than just monetary. You're going to have an issue like you got to call the fire department to put out a fire. And these things happen so often, it's ridiculous, because I've heard tow truck drivers say they get these calls every couple of weeks. Okay, but all this because the engine can't cool down. And this is like an important component of not just the AC system. This is an important component of the workings of the engine, the safety of the car in general. All right, so first thing when you get this issue is you probably think it's probably the water pump. You probably think it's the coolant temperature sensor. You probably think it's obviously the fan not working, maybe not enough oil because the engine's overheating and stuff like that. But here's the thing. Obviously, you want to go out and check to see what the issue is. You're going to have to see what the issue is. So one of the more obvious things is you want to see whether it's the fan that's the issue or not. All right. A lot of times, a lot of these newer vehicles will have a check engine light specifically for the fan not running, as far as the engine fan not running, because it's electric. For most modern vehicles, the fan is electric. It's not powered by the motor itself. So if you get a check engine light, chances are you're going to get a P0480 check engine light, which is essentially a code for a malfunction on the cooling fan. Now, if you guys come into this issue, you guys definitely want, if you guys have a check engine light, definitely either get a OBD2 reader to check to see what the code is, or you could actually just go to AutoZone. But if you guys are in this situation, obviously you're going to have a vehicle that's probably not going to be you're not going to be able to drive too far without it actually having damage to your engine and stuff like that, if you keep on driving it with the temperature gauge all the way to the hot zone. All right, so basically, if you get into this situation, an OBD2 reader will make this diagnosis very, very, very simple for you. Reason being is it'll just tell you directly what the situation is. Now, if you didn't know what the situation is, obviously I went through a couple components that could cause this situation, but But if you guys want to test out whether it's your fan that's the issue, and we're talking about specifically for this code, the P0480 code, which is the cooling fan, you guys actually want to know whether it's the fan that's the issue. All you gotta do is turn on your AC. Now if you don't have AC, if your AC doesn't work, then that's a, you know, that's a bigger issue that you'd have to you know, that there's more troubleshooting involved. But if you have AC, just turn on your AC. Normally when you turn your AC, your fan should kick on. If your fan doesn't kick on, that means that there's a problem with your fan. But if you know this code exists already, you know there's a problem with this fan. This is it's a cooling fan related issue. So if you guys have this issue, you're gonna check a couple of things. You know, easiest thing to do is check to see whether it's the fan that's working, that is, if it's either the fan or the relay or the fuse, etc., etc. So you know, it's easy to check the fuse for the fan. All you gotta do is get a fuse tester and test out the fuses. A blown fuse is an easy fix. It could cause this situation. Replace the fuse. It's inexpensive. It's an easy thing to check up on. You really don't need too much electrical expertise for that. And you know, hopefully that's the problem. If that's the problem, just swap out the fuse and you're good to go. So the other things that could cause this issue is the fan itself. Now, before you guys think that it's the fan itself, you guys want to check out the relay. All right. So depending on which vehicle you have, some of the relays for the fan is in the fuse box or the tip-in, and sometimes there's a fuse in the fuse box. Sometimes there's a fuse in the fuse box, and there's a separate heat sink fuse that's sometimes connected to the frame of the vehicle. It kind of depends on which vehicle you have. The relay. They might have a relay that's on the fuse box, and then might have a relay that's screwed onto the frame of the vehicle. Depending on which vehicle you have, you might want to check those two things and look into where those locations are. And you could swap out, if it's on in the fuse box itself, you can actually swap out the relay for another relay and see if that's the cause of it. If the fan starts working after you put in the relay, then chances are that's the relay. That part, the relay itself, is inexpensive too. You get, you know, they range anywhere from like $10 to $15 at AutoZone. Inexpensive part. Now, if you guys have a vehicle with a relay that's connected to the frame, it kind of depends on where the relay is located. Sometimes you might have to take some paneling off, maybe the front off, just to get to the relay itself. You might want to test those relays, because a lot of times those relays do go bad. But if you guys have vehicles over 150,000 miles, 200,000 miles, somewhere around there, 125,000 miles, you definitely want to check the fan to make sure whether the fan is the problem. Now, if you can actually eliminate the fuse and the relay being the problem, chances are it's probably the fan that's the problem. Now, it could be the switch. You might want to just troubleshoot the switch, but the plug itself, you might want to troubleshoot the plug itself, but chances are it's probably not the plug that's the problem. There's a, you know, unless you have any kind of wiring issues, you know, rats getting to the wires, corrosion and degradation of the plugs themselves, chances are it's not the plug. It's either the fuse, the relay, the relay in the fuse box, or the relay that's actually connected to the frame of the vehicle, or the fan itself. There's a very rare chance that it's the plug, but you might want to test that out, you know, anyway, just to make sure that it's not before ordering the fan itself and getting it put in your vehicle. Anyway, that's pretty much the troubleshooting as far as this situation is concerned. If you guys have any of your own personal experiences with this, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. It might help somebody else out. Please subscribe, please give me a thumbs up, all that good stuff. All right, guys, take care.